You already know what it is. Yep, the garage is super messy. But it was a $1,000 day today, so not gonna complain. Got some work done, filled up an entire garbage, created a mess. Normal stuff. All right, guys, we're gonna get into the video. We're gonna go over exactly how to do a Raptor bed liner kit. Not like the classic YouTube with your little portable air compressor and out in your farm field spraying the bed down. We're gonna do it legitimately, exactly how it should be done. I'm gonna show you everything you need to use to get the job done successfully and have excellent results when you do it. Because it's one thing to apply it, it's another thing if it turns out looking like shit and you just spent, what, I think the kits go 100, 120 bucks. They keep hiking up in price because they're getting popular. So you might want to stock up now. No, I'm not going to stock up. But hey, before we get into the video, you guys, I got to talk to you guys about something. Something that it's kind of bugging me. And I'll make this very, very short, okay? I, for the first time, viewed the analytics on YouTube, okay? And it kills me that, like, I have a few hundred subscribers, which is great. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. But 99.9% of you guys watching my videos are not subscribed. Just click the button. Click, 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 click. All right, into the kit. Let's do it. All right, so depending where you buy the kit, this one was purchased off Amazon, so hence I got a cardboard box, another cardboard box, and then the actual product. This is how the single truck bed kit comes. I believe there's color options. Obviously, I just went with black. You're always better off just going a black route. Colors, if you screw up, not gonna look great. But anyways, you get 4 bottles. Okay, those 4 bottles are the actual media that you're putting on the bed. So that's the actual liner. You got a hardener right there. The hardener gets put into each bottle, and there's actually a graded line that you pour the hardener up to, fill it to that spot, and then you're good to go. So one thing I'll say about this right now, it comes with directions, and the directions are actually helpful. So I know how to apply this kit and how it's used. For those of you that have no experience, obviously this is going to be awesome watching this video because I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. But with that being said, a lot of kits have instructions that suck. Those instructions actually work. So you're going to get the 4 bottles, you're going to get the hardener, you're going to get this spray gun here. Now, I actually already assembled the spray gun. And one thing I do want to show you, the spray gun, it's actually going to have this threaded into the end of it. It's a little, it's essentially the same size as like your air fittings, but it's threaded in there in the sense that you can thread a female coupler on. Well, I don't want a female, I want a male. So you're going to probably have to go buy yourself a male, you know, type F fitting or whatever you're using in your garage for your kind of stuff. So it comes with the shaft. Obviously the shaft threads in there, super simple. It didn't come like that. You got to install it. You just twist it in. Goal is obviously to reach to the bottom of the bottle because you thread the bottle into the cap. You hook up your air supply right here and you go to town. Not that easy, okay? It is easy, but you got to pay attention, okay? First thing I'm going to talk about. If you're using an air compressor where you cannot control the amount of air pressure feeding to the sprayer, don't even consider doing this because you run it over 60 and you're going to have big giant splatters everywhere, high and low spot. It's not going to work. So don't even try it. You need an air compressor or some kind of air supply that you can regulate. Now, the instructions say 40 to 60. I usually run about 45. The lower that you run, the more of a kind of like a texture you're going to get. Lower speed air, obviously bringing a higher volume of media out. So the gun comes in that box along with the rest of the stuff. This is not everything you need, though. It's not even close, okay? Because you're going to need to buy a fitting right out of the gate. So if you have just a regular style coupler, like I do over on the end of my garage for the air hose, you're going to want something you can actually hook onto it. All right, moving on. So this kit, okay, is essential. Obviously, you're going to need this kit. You need more though, okay? And we're gonna go over and we're gonna cover all those items. Now, I'm gonna jump right here, okay? First thing on your list, maybe not the first, but top 3. Get yourself some kind of dryer for your airlines. Now, for those of you spraying your truck bed in a farm field, yeah, maybe you don't care, okay? But this is going on my buddy's truck. I'm doing it for him. It's a 17 Z71 Silverado. I want the Bedliner kit to look nice. So I do not want moisture coming through the lines, contaminating the fluid, or I shouldn't say fluid, the media, the paint that we're putting on. Now, this was something I bought on Amazon, right? Because I don't have a dryer system installed. So I was like, shit. So I looked on Amazon and I actually found this guy. I think it was like $40, $50. Comes with 2 full bags of this desiccant, and it helps dry any of the moisture that's coming through the line. So I'm going to hook this between the air compressor and my air hose reel so that I know that the air is being dried while I'm painting, because you're going to be using a lot of air volume, meaning the compressor is probably going to cycle multiple times unless you have like a 60 gal, maybe it'll only cycle once or twice. But beyond this stuff, okay, so a dryer, super important, okay? Now here's the other thing you're going to need. You're going to need a DA, okay? Now I say need because, again, if we want to do this kit professionally, do not apply your Raptor Liner kit over bare paint, okay? First of all, bare paint doesn't stick to paint well. Like, that's just, it's a principle of painting in general, okay? Not only that, paint does not stick well to very, very smooth surfaces. So when it's painted and it's very smooth, the Raptor Liner is not going to bond to that very well. So get yourself a DA, some 60, 80. You go over 80, it's going to be kind of hard to actually bite through the paint. Now, I'm not going to sand all of the paint off, but I'm going to score the surface of the bed so heavily that that paint will stick really well. Now, speaking of that, once you sand it, it's going to create a huge mess. You're going to need to clean that mess. So you're going to need to blow out the bed. Then you're going to need to hit the whole bed with brake cleaner. Clean down every square inch so it is a nice, absolutely clean surface that you're about to paint on, okay? Glasses, gloves, a mask, okay? All of those are optional. I would highly at least recommend the glasses. Now, I know there's a bunch of badasses on YouTube and you guys never need glasses, and I'm even victim of it at times, but you only get one set of eyes. This kind of stuff going in your eyes, no bueno. And this is, you guys will see a messy, messy job. You want to talk about overspray and paint fumes? They're going to go in your eyes. They're going to go in your mouth. They're going to get on your hands. Just cover yourself up. Nice and simple. Now you'll see the tape. The tape is obvious, okay? Obviously, you're going to have to mask off the entire vehicle. Now, for those of you that make these videos and you only mask off the back window and just the sides of the bed, and then the wind takes the overspray around and it sticks to your truck, have fun cleaning that off. I am going to completely cover up the truck all the way up to probably the front door, where the front door and the rear door meet. I might even go all the way up to the front door, but it's getting covered because overspray is a real thing. I do enough spray painting. I know all about overspray. In fact, there's some overspray on the floor in my garage, even when I have covered stuff. So you're gonna need tape, you're gonna need poly. No, you don't need this heavy duty 6mm poly. That's what I had laying around, so we're gonna rock with that. Paper towels, obviously, again, for cleaning. But this stuff here, okay, and I will slowly film over it. This is everything you need to do the Raptor Liner kit. Not just that, okay? This kind of will cover us for the majority of that. That being said, the kit does not come with ambition or hard work, so you are gonna have to do a little soul searching for that. Also, if you have a nice garage floor, like me, or even if you don't have a nice garage floor, let's say it's just bare concrete garage floor, right, and you don't want stains all over it, I would do this outside. Now, the weather doesn't always permit for that. Granted, it's October, it's Minnesota. Yes, it's nighttime right now. We're gonna be doing this in the morning, but tomorrow is supposed to be a nice day. So I have every intention of doing this outside and not on my garage floor. We're gonna roll into actually doing it. All right, let's do it. All right, guys, here's the truck we're working on. So, time to start prepping. Got to first take off this cover that's on it. We're gonna take all those brackets off, and we're gonna start sanding, and we're gonna clean it, and we're gonna get this bed liner in. All right, got the topper off. Or I shouldn't say topper, tonneau cover, whatever you want to call it. Got the bracket hardware just taped up to the top trim. Now, a lot of the videos you see, they take these off. Let's be real, guys. If you're doing this at home, you're not trying to spend several hours on this project. It's going to take a long time already. And on GMs, these aren't snapped. They're glued, and they're a major pain in the ass to take off. And I don't want to risk breaking it. So we're actually going to leave these top bed trim pieces alone. They are black, so they will blend in just fine. All right. So this, probably the second longest part, sanding is probably going to be the longest part. But it does take some time and finesse to get all your, exact tape lines that you want. I did tape the straps up. A little word of advice here. I would loosen up the tailgate cables, just so that we can get paint behind and around where that would normally sit when the tailgate's down, especially since this is white. Otherwise, you're gonna have a big spot right there. Don't take it off all the way because you don't want to damage the tailgate or anything, but definitely pull it back slightly so that there is room there so that you can paint behind it. But yeah, we got her all covered up here, all the way down to the, I guess, where the start of the front doors are. Make sure you, these areas especially too, you'll see I overlap tape far in there so when I'm spraying it doesn't sneak its way past there and stick to the back. So she is ready for prep now. Now you'll see I took this off. Reason for that, because I'm gonna sand the edges around here where that shield butts up to it. And the reason for that is that while you're driving slow vibrations, if you don't get enough paint in there behind that cover, it's probably gonna start to chip, flake, fall apart. And being that this is white, you're gonna see it very noticeably if that does happen, which is why I took this off, because I am going to coat it. Obviously, I covered all the bolt holes, and then I'm going to coat that so that when they go together, it's a nice finished product. Quick status update. You can see where it's shiny. You can see where it's not. That is what you're going for, not to be shiny. So I'm working my way back. Yes, I started at the tailgate because I'm going to go over that twice. Especially to make sure you get down in between each, I'll call them ribs. Make sure you scrub in the middle of them too, as well as the sides, because the whole point of a bed liner, right? Finished surface that you can slide stuff across. Well, you don't want to have poor adhesion in the middle of the ribs or on the edges, because then it'll peel off and you'll see white right underneath it. So working my way slowly. I'm probably about an hour in. I would estimate this is probably about 2 hours worth of sanding, probably about another hour worth of prep, and then we'll go ahead. We'll spray the Raptor down. I gotta finish chewing. Eating some pizza rolls sitting up on my transmission there. Anyways, the bed is officially clean. Tons of brake clean, tons of rags. Got it all wiped down. Sanding, all of 2 hours at least. But yeah, she's all ready for paint. The important things here, I'm gonna go over real quick. Make sure your pressure regulation is already set before you start painting, because you do not want 80 psi when you go to pull the first trigger, promise. That being said too, hardener and paints you don't put in sunlight. Yeah, the sun line is slowly creeping that way, but you get the point. Hardener has to go in 1 bottle at a time. So 1 bottle at a time, shake the living bananas out of it. Now there is a graded line. I gotta show you where that line is. So this, I believe it's this top line right here. Watch, I'll be editing a lot of this out because I could have swore it was right on the bottle, like very clear. But yeah, essentially, make sure your gun's ready. Make sure your air pressure's all set up. I did get that that pressure regulator on. Not pressure regulator, the dryer. Little Amazon dryer. Gonna mix our first bottle here and we're gonna go at it. All right, guys and girls, showtime. All right, test hit. right, guys, I'm gonna show you what the other videos don't show you, and that is cleaning the gun in between uses. So as you guys can see, we got the whole backside pretty much done. Kind of washed it up into the sides of the bed, and between bottles you need to be cleaning the gun, otherwise it starts to dry and then you have a restriction out of the nozzle. So I've already cleaned this, but I'm going to show you guys again how that gets done. Granted, it's not very easy with one hand, but essentially you fill your bottle full of brake clean. Just take a random bottle, put about, I don't know, maybe, quarter of the bottle or even less than that. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna find your garbage can and you're gonna stick this into the bottom, and then you're gonna pull the trigger wide open for about probably 15 to 30 seconds, and it's gonna completely clean the inside of that gun. So I have a feeling there's still some residue in there, so I'm gonna fill this and then we'll go clean it quick. So you guys can see I got brake cleaner in here. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold this up against the surface, because this bottle was about the right size for the straw. And see what that does? It breaks down the paint. Simple as that, guys. All right, almost done. Coverage is looking phenomenal. I'll tell you guys what, for somebody like me who has never used this Raptor kit before, it is great stuff. I mean, it is very, very hard to screw up. And you guys can see that texture looks phenomenal. Try to get a close up there. Once we're done, I'll go over and I'll get very, very close to it, but I could not be happier. All right, guys, the sun is definitely in our eyes right now, but gonna give you a close up of the texture. So the way I did it, because I like where it's, kind of on the side of the tailgate as well. So I created, and this is just dust here, but I created a tape line, and then I hit it with some black primer, and then I came back and hit it the best I could with the gun. Now the coverage is really, really good. There were some small minuscule blemishes that I caught when I was done, which is why I bought a little can of Bedliner spray, which is, so I bought a little can of Bedliner spray, Duplicolor Bed Armor, similar kind of texture. It's a little bit fatter, but you don't notice that too much. So what I want to talk about is this. We used 4 cans, okay? So those 4 containers that we bought as per the kit that was on Amazon, I'm just going to say this, it's not enough. Really, like, this is just a standard size bed. You should really be using, 5 would be really ideal, 6 would probably be best practice. So you guys, no complaints. It turned out phenomenal, and this was over white, you got to understand too, so you can imagine how thick I had to lay it on. But I'm just kind of disappointed with the fact that they give you 4 cans, and I was like at the end just barely able to make it. So I undercoated this as well, or not undercoated, but use that bed liner. This is just the tailgate cover. Now the reason I took it off is I wanted to make sure I could get the edges as well as right up underneath where it sits, because I didn't want any white to be visible, especially because that's the first thing you see when you open the tailgate. So that being said, you know, this has phenomenal coverage on it. In the shadows here, you can kind of see more of the texture. Now, once you start getting towards the end, this is really what it looks like when there's a lot less in the can and it's kind of aerating a little bit more. It changes the texture slightly, but not enough where it's going to look different than the rest of the truck. So, that being said, very satisfied with it. You know, for most people that are just looking to get a bed liner put in, I would say that this is definitely a solid option. So that's going to be a wrap, guys. We got the bed liner on. I'm going to post this video up just to help those of you that are doing it. You know, the only thing that I found in doing this kit, the only challenging part, I should say, is that if you have a standard size bed and you get 4 bottles, you're going to be just barely cutting it. You know, if you had a black truck, it might be a little bit different because it might look a little bit better. But for those of you that are online going to order that kit, definitely order more than 4. So 5, maybe 6. That should be enough to do the job thoroughly. Now, I had taped everything off perfectly. Like, I spent a lot of time doing prep work, and I still had just little bits of spatter that made its way past the plastic onto the tape, or onto the paint, excuse me. So be cautious, that is gonna happen. I used brake cleaner, same thing I use to clean the bed. It's mostly acetone. I mean, you can't go wrong there. So that being said, you guys, if you're looking for a phenomenal, easy to use option, that is definitely the way to go. All right, well, that is gonna be a wrap.